गाइस वेलकम बैक टू क्रैक एनसीईटी। आज हम करने वाला है टीचिंग एप्टीट्यूड का यूनिट 4 लेक्चर 2। I think some of you guys have already watched that lecture 1 and the unit we were dealing with is unit 4, that is about mathematics. In this unit we are having three subtopics and we have already discussed this one in lecture 1. ठीक है, these famous mathematicians and women mathematicians, we gave more importance to the Indian ones because according to the previous year trend it's more asked. ठीक है, so in this lecture we are going to cover the entire unit. आज this unit हम खत्म करेंगे. ठीक है, so the first subtopic is based on the sense of proportion, perspective and abilities that mathematics gives. ठीक है, लेकिन the thing is ना, the according to the previous trends, questions, number of questions from this area is really less, and I have only seen one question. We will discuss that too. Okay, but that is also not exactly connected with this subtopic. But still, we will be just doing. But guys, this one right here, difficulties that children face while learning mathematics is a very important one. As I'm still saying, I have already discussed, but this difficulties portion is coming in maths. We are dealing with unit 4 today, but we are here to study and score maximum marks out of teaching aptitude, right? So I'm just mentioning that this difficulties thing is coming under maths, language, and science. ये तीनों में आ रहा, and this is very important. You can collectively expect one or two questions from this, and this mathematics portion is also very important. So आज ये हम खत्म करेंगे. ठीक है, ओके, आगे चलता है. First, what we are going to do, we are directly going to going into one question, and through that question I will make you to do that question on your. ठीक है, so let's go. As I told before, this is more of a logic based one. Okay, you guys can answer this if you have some prior experience with dealing these kind of questions. So it's very simple. Trust me, guys. The question here is, which of the following is the main reason of the fear of mathematics among students? Mathematics is such a subject that, like, there's a stigma around mathematics. Mathematics is very hard, and there are like a portion of students who know mathematics very well and the others are like, oh, mathematics ज़्यादा tough है. ऐसा बहुत बच्चे हैं. Maybe some of you guys are also feeling the same way, but mm, that's why a potential question can uh, come from this area, because this is a big issue and even researchers are working on this field to understand the root cause. ठीक है, so yeah, first one, mathematics is not interesting. Second one, students cannot relate classroom mathematics with their lives. And mathematics teachers have no subject knowledge. Mathematics is logical. These are our four subjects. I'm not discussing this question. ठीक है? So confuse मत करो. Maybe you guys are thinking that ये PYQ है. PYQ में like क्या कर रहा है? Actually, this approach I'm using here is not limited to this question. That's why I'm just going this like I'm continuing this class through questions, because in teaching aptitude this should be the strategy. As I told before, this is not about learning, this is all about doing. Okay, so I want you guys to do with me. First of all, guys, the first thing is you have to be logical. Mathematics is not interesting, is not an option at all, because that doesn't make any sense. Okay, we are writing an exam. Okay, and one option is mathematics is not interesting and the other option is mathematics teachers have no subject knowledge. Even after reading this, all of a sudden you should get the logic that these options are wrong. Okay, I think that you are getting some idea about this, because these are like very subjective things, you know. Mathematics may not be interested to some students, but you can't like generalize it, right? That is the problem with the third option also. Mathematics teachers have no subject knowledge, so ye dono we can avoid. When we have students cannot relate classroom mathematics with their lives, And the fourth one is mathematics is logical. Mathematics is of course logical, but how does that is the how does that logical nature of mathematics is the reason of fear of mathematics among students? Okay, I hope that you are getting the logic behind this. Mathematics is logical, that's true. That is not the reason behind like students dislike of mathematics, right? I mean, students fear of mathematics. This is not the reason. Okay. So mathematics is knowledge is also not the option we have left with. Student cannot relate classroom mathematics with their lives. Okay, and actually now we have done a method like we were like just avoiding options, but you can use the reverse strategy also. When while reading this now, students cannot relate classroom mathematics with their lives. You just can think about it. Like, yeah, according to this syllabus, like according to these options, guys, I am telling you a very important thing. So here carefully, we have to find an answer from the given options. That is very important. So some may be confusing, and we have to find the best possible answer from the options. That is our goal. So that's why this is our best possible option. This is this these kind of entrance examinations are not always about the right answers. It's all about best possible answers. Okay. So this is the sorry guys, this is the best possible answer right here. So we have to go with this. Okay, so the first question we have discussed is like my whole goal behind discussing this is to make you guys realize the approach. Maybe if you're getting this now, this logic, you can do this within seconds. I'm just like talking more and more about this because I want everybody to understand. I know maybe some guys are thinking that ये 50 like 30 seconds में कर सकता है. क्यों इतना बात कर रहा है इसके ऊपर? क्योंकि सबको करना है ना, इसलिए. So the next thing is very important maths. इसमें थोड़ा theory भी है. It's not completely related to mathematics, but this is important in teaching aptitude. So I have decided I will discuss this here only. Which of the following is considered as formative assessment in mathematics classroom? Holidays homework, final year exams, midterm examination, pop quizzes. So पहले हमको इसको जानना पड़ेगा. What is formative assessment? So we are going to have a theory session on this thing. Okay, this is very important. Maybe you can expect a question from this theory also, not just limited to mathematics, it's also limited to many other units also. So we are covering this right here. Actually, we are starting with how to test a student. Of course, we are having exams, right? You guys all know, and NCET is also a kind of examination which tests your subject knowledge. ठीक है ना? So the thing is, when we are talking about assessments, it's important to know about the aspects of this whole evaluation process. Okay, so we are starting our thing with tests. Okay, this is our first side. इसके ऊपर इसके बाहर ठीक है I think many of you guys are aware with like Venn diagram and all. So this is a kind of diagram like that. Okay, and here we have measurements. Measurement. Guys, these things you will even learn if you like you can even learn about these things after joining into BSc okay? These are the core concepts behind this some assessment tools okay? So that's why I'm telling you guys that this is important like you can expect a question from here. So we have tests, we have measurements, and then we have assessment okay? Then we have assessment and इसके भी ऊपर the top notch hierarchy is evaluation. Actually, these are the underlying things behind this examinations and all. This is important. ठीक है? Important. And in assessments, this thing, you guys are having two types. Okay, we are having two types of assessment. In the question also you have seen that assessment, that is in question we are having formative assessment, and we have the other assessment type is summative assessment. We are also having one assessment type called diagnostic assessment. Okay, but this is not that much important, so I'm just skipping it. This is not important for you guys in the perspective of examination, so let's skip this. We have to focus more on about this formative and summative assessment tools. So right now what I'm going to do, I am going to give you some examples of formative assessment. Okay, you have to read this, and I won't recommend you to just by heart. Okay, not like we have done that with our mathematician names and their works. You don't have to do like that. It's more logical case. Let me explain. We will get an idea after explaining. Maybe some of these terms are new. Don't worry, I will explain for sure. First, let's read this. So, guys, read this with me. We have exit slips, admit slips, muddiest point, polls, surveys. I think you guys know the meaning of poll surveys. And focus groups. Groups का भी मतलब ये है कि if some students are interested, or some students have more knowledge than other students, the teacher can try to make focus groups so that it will be beneficial for both of us, because the students who don't know that much can make a focus group on their own. It will be helpful for them to understand the concepts in classrooms. Okay, so focus groups is also the concept map is there. I think you guys know the meaning of concept map. Exam wrappers is there, we will discuss about it, don't worry. Graphic organizers, so मतलब है कि it's kind of similar to concept map, but it will be actually this is using your visual learning abilities. Like some students are we will discuss about this later, but some students are more active when they are learning visually. Okay, so these kind of things are to help, like these kind of things are there to help those kind of students. And we have student led discussion, and we have like response log, like kind of saying like we have learning and response log. This means like kind of a journal like journal, guys. So you don't have to give more emphasis on this, but I just want you to go through these names, because maybe your guys are getting a questions like this, so you just can answer. That's my whole point. And the thing is demonstration, it's like PowerPoint presentation. Learning or response logs, this is the same thing we have discussed before. This is a typo. Then self-evaluation, peer evaluation, kinesthetic assessments. Like you just have to know the names. Okay. Actually, kinesthetic assessment is using your like movements, like the kinesthetic things, in order to make your understanding better. Okay. So this is a theory. We will be maybe discussing about this later. There are different types of learners. In that learners, as I have told before, there are visual learners, there are auditory learners, there are kinesthetic learners. Kinesthetic का मतलब ये कि like bodily movement and all. ठीक है? So kinesthetic assessments, frequent low stakes quizzes, frequent low stakes grading, games and simulations, pop quiz. Have you ever heard about this? Yeah, we just saw this in our question. Pop quiz, formative assessment, हमारा आंसर हो गया. But I'm still sure that many of you guys have not got an idea about what formative assessment really is. So simple, guys. Just listen to me. Formative assessment's whole point is behind, guys. You guys are having board exams, right? We are having board exams. It is a like end term evaluation. It is not continuous. Okay, na? So those kind of assessment types are considered as summative. Okay, maybe you guys know the meaning of sum. It means the addition, right? So those kind of board exams are like trying to analyze the like your 1 year of study, right? But formative assessment is not like this. Okay, formative assessment is continuous. right? So that is the difference between formative and summative assessment. So I hope that you got an idea about this. The board exams and those kind of exams, end term exams, are summative exams, and the continuous exams we are having like class tests, okay, that kind of exams we can consider it as formative. Okay, so that is the idea behind summative and formative examinations. And the one more thing is like just I will just mention it. It's not completely related to this unit, but for your better understanding, there is a concept called CCE. इसका मतलब है कि this is a like a short form of continuous and comprehensive and continuous evaluation. Okay, so just think like just try to remember it. Maybe a question like this can come. Okay, so the thing is we got our answer, but we still have to study more about these confusing terms, this exit slips, admit slips, muddiest point, exam wrappers. ये क्या क्या है? Don't worry guys, it's simple. Don't think it's hard because of the names. Exit slips are something like written responses to questions posed at the end of a class to assess students understanding. उतना ही है. The thing is like it's like a response sheet guys. Class के बाद वो response like to analyze students understanding they will give that exit slips. ठीक है. Admit slips is kind of similar. Exit slips are given after the class. Admit slips are given before the class in order to understand their knowledge about that subjects beforehand. ठीक है, before teaching. And maybe if you are doing admit slips and exit slips, you can understand that how much those students learn from the class. Okay, so that's a very good method to like rectify your mistakes and improve. So I just mentioned it, just remember the names, just try to remember the concepts. It's not that important, don't worry. But like you guys got PYQs in your previous year question paper, so you can expect questions from this area also. That's it. And we have muddiest point. It's not that important, but I just included this because maybe some of you guys are not getting what it means. It's similar to exit slips, but it's an open-ended questions. Like your hardest topic, there is a typo, guys. Like hardest to grasp concept. Okay, like it's a question like in today's class, which concept you didn't understand. Okay, that is known as muddiest point. And the exam wrappers is like a short handout that students complete on receiving like exam papers to review their performance. Like from the meaning itself, you can deduct its like function, right? So that is exam wrappers. Don't worry about it. We will be doing this in other some of the other units also. So now, as of now, you have to understand the difference between summative and formative assessment. I'm telling you guys, this is important. Summative assessment are like as the name itself suggests, summative. It's like an overall evaluation. Formative, like for like to remain simply I will just tell you class tests are summative, like sorry guys, class tests are formative and board exams are summative. Okay, I think you guys can remember this, and this if you remember this one you can understand the difference between summative and formative assessments. Yeah, that's it. आगे चलते हैं. So there are some examples of summative assessments also. Those are portfolios, research project, performance task, unseen examination in controlled conditions, summative continuous. Like इसका मतलब ये कि it's kind of like end term examinations. ठीक है? And seen exam paper in controlled conditions. This is also summative aspect. Open books exam, takeaway exams, like the last term exams, guys. You guys maybe heard that like project like in last semester we are also having one project that's also a part of our summative assessment. Okay, so that multiple choice test, this is also like summative nature. Essay, exam, report, dissertation, presentation you are also seen in the last slides also, so don't confuse. I just included this to make you understand that can be of the summative and formative nature, because if you are doing it in an end term after studying for an entire semester or an entire year, it is known as summative assessment. If you are doing this as a part of class activity, this is known as formative assessment. In oral examination, maybe you guys are aware of viva and all. In lab exam also we are having this viva. Taking attendance is also a part of summative assessment. Okay. So this is the whole concept behind this summative and formative assessment. I think you guys got the idea behind this. Pop quiz क्या है? We haven't discussed that, right? Pop quiz is a short informal test given to students without prior warning, like a surprise test case. इतना ये इसका वो थोड़ा like celebrated नाम है pop quiz. Decorated नाम है pop quiz. Don't worry about this. Like surprise test, you can just say surprise test, but you won't be getting the surprise test name in the exam, so you have to study this pop quiz. But this is already asked, so maybe some other things will come. I just told you this for your better understanding. Next question. This is very important, guys, and I will explain the theory with this also. Dyscalculia, but this is also a previous question, so maybe question can't come, but we can't skip this because this is very important. Maybe some question like differs from this can come about dyscalculia. This question is dyscalculia can be diagnosed by. Maybe the question you are getting is about like what is dyscalculia. Okay, so this is very important. Don't skip this. This is important. So the questions, like before getting to the question, let's try to understand what dyscalculia really is. Dyscalculia is a learning difficulty that makes it hard for someone to understand numbers and match concepts. It affects basic math skills like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, but doesn't reflect a person's intelligence. There may be some guys in the classrooms, right? They're having problem with maths. So teachers may say that ये उतना दिमाग नहीं है उसको, ये गलत है. Maybe those guys are having dyscalculia. So that's the thing. And don't confuse dyscalculia with dyslexia. ठीक है? Maybe some of you guys have heard about this dyslexia from parents away, but I know. So don't confuse it with this, but it's easy to remember because these guys are having kind of rhythmic names, right? So this dyslexia is a learning difficulty that makes it hard for someone to read, spell, and process words. That is dyslexia, and dyscalculia is it's all about numbers and maths. Dyscalculia is about maths. Guys, think like this. Calculia matlab you can think of calculator. Calculator is related to maths, right? It's also related to other science subjects, but it's generally related to maths. So you can think like that. So coming to our question, can be diagnosed by. This is an example of a question where you can use your logic and common sense. Okay, you can use your common sense here. These options are teachers only, school principals only, parents only, team of educationalists and psychologists only. Educationalist मतलब क्या है? It's kind of similar to teachers. Teachers can also be educationalists. ठीक है? So the thing is you have to find the, as I have told before, best possible answer. Yeah, we are looking for best possible answer. So teachers only, yeah, you maybe can think about it, but this school principles also you can just avoid it, reject it, because it doesn't make any sense. So we just cut this. So we have three options left. Parents only, maybe it's not a generalized statement, so of course parents can recognize, but we are searching for a generalized answer. ठीक है ना? So we have to find the best possible answer. Teachers only hai, parents only hai. I think these are having some questions because actually maybe one teacher can identify dyscalculia. That's true. Maybe one parent can understand dyscalculia because if they are having 1 minute guys, I am having battery issues. क्लास में ऐसा हो रहा है ना, लास्ट क्लास में भी हो गया था battery guys. So sorry, let's get into the question. The thing is you have to find for the best possible answer, and as I said, maybe one parent, if he know about this dyscalculia, he can help his kids. But it's not a generalized statement. The best possible answer is team of educationalist and psychologist only, because you have to use your common sense, because this is a kind of question in which you have to find the generalized answer, है ना? So I hope that you got an idea, and on the way, trust me guys, you'll be dealing questions like this, and on the way you will be able to do these questions within seconds, and you will think that ये सब कितना आसान है. Actually this is not tough. I hope you got this idea, and trust me guys, this is not about dyscalculia. This just mentioned the term dyscalculia, and in this term, in this place I can put dyslexia also. But think, a specific question about dyscalculia haven't asked yet, so you can expect and be aware about this. This is important, ठीक है? So yeah, आगे चलते हैं. One more question. This kind of question is from this area, this first unit. I'm not going to discuss much about this. Why? Because you guys are preparing for IIT or NIT or any other best RIs, right? So you guys have to give PCA in order to get into IITs and NITs. So you guys have some prior knowledge in maths, but that will make you able to do questions from this area, I'm sure. Because here it mentioned that based on the sense of proportion, perspective, and abilities that mathematics gives. Okay. And one question I found, it's not completely related to this, like this specific instructions, but the question was this. This is from the 2023. Like I wrote this examination. Okay. So this question is a simple max question. It's a logical max question. The value of machine depreciates at the rate of 10% every year. Depreciate मतलब कि एक इसका value कम हो रहा है. So, okay, so every time, like for example, first to understand this, maybe one book is 100 rupees, 100 rupees. After 1 year, its price is going to be 90 rupees. That is the meaning of this thing. Okay, it was purchased 3 years ago. Now the present value is 8,748. So just there are a equation method, but I don't want to use that because I want everybody to understand that this is a logical question. Okay, so you can do this kind of questions with your logic. It's very easy. So ध्यान से देखो, हम अभी कर देंगे, मेरे साथ तुम भी करो, ठीक है? So the thing is, just think about this. It was bought before 3 years. So just think that bought at this thing, एक साल हो गया, एक ईयर हो गया, एक और ईयर हो गया, एक और ईयर हो गया, again one more year हो गया. So this price is the price after these 3 years, ठीक है ना? So I can say that this is a 90% of this thing, right? Because 10% depreciation is coming. I hope that you guys are understanding. This end product right here is a 90% of this one. So we are having 48. And this is a 90% of x, right? So x into x is this thing, right? X into 90 by 100 is equal to this. Okay, so when we have to find x, we will just reverse it, right? So x is equal to 8748 into 100 by 90. That means 10 by 9. We just cut the zeros. So the answer coming is 9720. So we got the answer of this one. And we are repeating the same process for this one. This thing right here is the 90% of this one. I hope that you guys are getting the idea. So this is the 90% of this one. So we are doing the same thing with this thing, with this 10 by 9, and that answer, that value is 10800. And again, now we just came to this one, right? So we have to do this again, once again. Okay, na? So because we just got this, now we just got this. What we have to find? We have to find this, the first value, the machine's value, right? So we have to do it once more. It is 10 by 9, and the answer is 12000. Okay, 12,000. This is our answer. I hope you guys got the answer. I just explained this in a way that everybody understands, because maybe you guys are studying maths, right? So maybe this is a very easy problem for you. Never mind. Like, you should have skipped it if you know the answer, but it's okay. So yeah, that's it, guys. This is the question, like a similar question from this first subtopic. Don't worry about it. Okay. So yeah, that's all about unit 4. ठीक है, that's all about unit 4. हमारा unit 4 खत्म हो चुका है, right? Okay, I hope you guys are understanding these concepts. Like, as I told before, the summative, I will just make a revision for you guys. Summative and formative assessment are some kind of important thing. You have to know the examples of some examples of each of them, because you can expect a question from that. But don't try to by heart it. It's kind of logical. So go through these things and understand the meaning. Then you will get the answer. Okay, so don't worry about it. And the thing is, the other kind of questions you guys will get is about dyscalculia and the difficulties. And many questions are just logical. Like the dyscalculia can be diagnosed by. So you have to find the best possible answers, because we are limited with our options. So maybe sometimes you will be confused, but don't worry. Try hard and try to practice questions like this. You will be able to do this. Okay, so that's all about it. So as I told before, as I told in the previous lecture, I hope you guys are keeping a small notebook for this, or a special, like, some pages for this. Okay, so why I'm telling this, otherwise you will be forgetting everything in the time of exams. So this dyscalculia, summative and normative, like summative and formative assessments, you just have to note these things down. That's it today. That's it, guys. That's all about today. Bye bye, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more lectures, and all the best.